My best friend is marrying my ROPIST. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my daughter to attend my BFF's wedding to her biological father? I, 27, have an amazing daughter, A, 12, and I'm married to the most amazing man, Ted, 27, in the world. My daughter and I have been living in Japan for the last 9 years, the home country of my husband. I returned to the UK for the first time since leaving this month, August 2023, to meet my nephew. My best friend, Renee, 26, and I have been best friends since we were 3 years old. She has always been my rock through everything, especially when I was pregnant with my daughter. As you can see, I gave birth to my daughter when I was 15. Her biological father, Dean, 33, has had no interaction with either of us since the night I got pregnant, nor ever showed an interest, until now. To address the elephant in the room, Dean roped me when I was 15 and he was 21. I come from a very religious family, also known as, my father is a deacon, there was no option. However, I absolutely adore my daughter and do not equate her to that horrible experience. She saved me and I have spent every day loving her thanks to a lot of support, therapy, and her just being the most loving little sweet peach out there. She doesn't know the nature of her conception because how do you explain that to any child under any circumstances? My husband adopted her, and she knows they're not related biologically, but they absolutely adore one another. Dean gave up all parental rights in a plea deal for a lesser sentence. I came back to the UK to meet my nephew, but booked to stay for a few weeks to visit my family and friends, but it was all a surprise. No one except my mum knew we were coming over. It was very fun and so lovely to see everyone's shock and surprise. My daughter is having the best time with her aunts, and they're all so excited to see her in person. I decided to also surprise Renee, turning up at her house, ringing the doorbell and seeing the man who roped me was definitely the last thing I was expecting. I assumed by some twisted and cruel coincidence that I got the address wrong, but then her comes to the door calling him babe. It honestly felt like a horrible cliched teen movie where the main protagonist caught her best friend and boyfriend together. I knew she was seeing someone, but said that she wouldn't let me meet them until it was in person. She's my best friend, I had no reason not to trust her. I know that makes me stupid as hell, but I just never could have thought she'd do this. It's been 3 days since then and she has been blowing up my phone, begging to talk. I finally gave in because, as established above, I'm a moron. She said she was sorry for how I found out about them, and if I could forgive her for falling in love with my ex, which not only pissed me off but also my husband who knows everything this whole ordeal put me through. I cut her off, saying I couldn't have this conversation especially since my daughter was in the room, and she replied saying something like, well, she'll have to find out about the wedding soon for dress fittings. I asked her what she meant because no way did I hear that correctly, and she said that as her soon-to-be stepmom she wants her as the flower girl, as we have always said since we were growing up that our kids would be flower girl/ring bearer. I told her in absolutely no way, shape, or form would my daughter be attending that wedding. She said I was being petty and jealous and that I can't stop her real dad from being a part of her life. We've not spoken since this morning on the call, but I'm already receiving messages from our mutual friends saying that I've caused her to break down and ruined her wedding, but I genuinely believe I am not only morally right but also legally. Am I the a-hole?